Hey, what's up? This is my actual review of Resident Evil 9. I just finished it like half an hour ago. First playthrough on Standard Classic. Before I get to that though, because I'm moving, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Like, this is my favorite guitar right here. The Squire 50s Classic Vibe. Right. And because I'm moving, I had to get all my guitars in one location. And I just wanted to show off my 60s Classic Vibe. This is also a beautiful, amazing guitar. Now, these were from 2013. These are Chinese-made Fender, Squire by Fender models. Back in 2013, up until 2015, if you wanted a 60s classic vibe, you could only get it in rosewood. And you can only get it in either sunburst or metallic purple. For the 50s, you could only get it, you can only get it in rosewood, the 60s. And for the 50s, you can only get it in maple, and the only colors available were metallic green or sunburst. And on this one also, metallic purple or sunburst. The reason I'm bringing this into frame is because I haven't played this guitar in probably 10 years. This is from 2015 again, and this is just the same as the green 50s classic vibe. It's got the super thin neck, it's super fast, but it's lacquered. This is rosewood, so it doesn't have the skunk stripe, but the truss rod access is still here. So it's not real, like real vintage. Like, for example, the 50s classic vibe, it's got a 9.5 radius instead of a 7.25 radius, so it's not really like that classic. But these are actual Alnico pickups, which are better than Mims. And I'm getting this fixed by a luthier just because it has a fret issue, has a ding on fret number 6, to the point where you cannot bend, you know, the G string or the D string or even the B string super high up. And so I don't do fret work myself. I'm gonna have this completely set up, and all the fret work done by a luthier. This part I can replace, but it's easier to just drop it off and just have him replace it. This is the amp cable. I guess the female amp cable just broke off. It's not because it's bad quality. I mean, the tone knobs and everything on these classic vibes, again, these are from 2015. These classic vibes are better than, like, even, they're on par with American-made Fenders. They're better than any Mexican Strat I've ever handled, as far as, like, just the detent and how like quality they feel, the knobs. Like on Mexican Strats, these are really mushy. At least the ones I have, and I've owned 4, and I have 2 remaining. Anyway, getting that out of the way. So Resident Evil 9, which I just finished, it's an amazing, amazing game. Like, part of it's recency bias, so I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, there's some recency bias because I just finished it, and but I don't remember any part of the game where I felt, oh, this is, you know, too much, or I'm not enjoying myself, I'm not having a good time, or, you know, the game is kind of too much, it jumped the shark. I know some people are making that comment regarding Leon's auto-scroller shooting section with the dogs, but I mean, that's just one small part of the game. That's not even 1% of the game. And even in RE2 Remake, you had the auto-scroller portion with the sewer monster. So is this as good as RE7 and RE2 Remake? Not quite, but I think the fan base, number one, the fan base is divided. And number two, this game sort of serves, I mean, this game is kind of like, what do you call it? Has a sort of consciousness of its own because it serves the fan division, because it has a Grace portion and a Leon portion. And you go back and forth, but by and large, Grace's portion is a lot more like RE2 Remake and Resident Evil 7. And I spoke of recency bias just because the last 2 Resident Evil games that I remember playing for the first time are Resident Evil 8, Village, and Resident Evil 4 Remake. Both those games are really good games, but as Resident Evil games, they do not stack up in comparison to RE7 and RE2 Remake. As far as the originals, I have played RE2, RE3, Nemesis. They're available on PS Plus, right? So I have played them. I play them really poorly because I just cannot, for some reason, my mind can't get, can't get the hang of actual tank controls. So I don't rate those games too high. I really think they should fix it, because on RE1 Remake and on RE0 even, which some people believe is the most difficult RE game, RE1 Remake and RE0, they had analog modern controls. And I actually bought Code Veronica. I'm playing through it right now. I'm like 5 hours in. And again, it was 20 bucks in today's money, and they can't put analog controls on there. They can very easily patch Code Veronica, RE2, and RE3 Nemesis to have modern analog controls, meaning you still have the fixed frame, except you can use your analog stick to move your character instead of just having the unintuitive tank controls. Okay, so that's enough said about the originals. I think RE2 Remake and RE7 are the best in series. RE7 definitely spectacular. It's got the best DLC out of pretty much any of the REs. And RE2 Remake, again, just a spectacular game. So what was it about RE9 that I like so much? Well, I just really enjoyed the entirety of the experience, and it took me less time than I had expected. It took me about 9.5 to 10 hours to finish one playthrough on standard classic without looking at any guides, without doing all backtracking, dying multiple times as Grace. Um, and because of that sort of recency bias of me playing through RE Village, I had been playing RE Village in preparation for RE9 and also dabbling in RE4 Remake. I kind of lost the sort of the Resident Evil sort of gameplay loop of backtracking, puzzle solving, and not basically not gutting down every zombie that you see. And so I thought Grace's sections were amazingly done. I thought the Insane Asylum, where most of her story takes place, was a super good, very straightforward, kind of linear, but not as linear as RE8 puzzle house. Like, you still do a lot of backtracking and you still go back and forth to save points because you have limited inventory. That never happened with RE8, or it hardly ever happened. Or you only went back to get like recipes for fish or steak or whatever. I mean, with the shop items and stuff. So Grace's section is really well done. Um, the reason I only give it a 8.5 is because Grace as a character is kind of just bland. Uh, she's really not written to be a compelling character, and she doesn't really have a compelling story to tell. There is more story towards the end, but like when you get to mid game, she's extremely bland, and the only sort of spice in her character is when she has to care for this, little girl that she has to rescue. But anyway, the game is divided into Grace and Leon, and after having played RE Village and RE4 Remake, I still really enjoy Leon's section. I will say again, as far as third person shooters go, there are better ones out there. The best one I've played is Last of Us Part 2 um, remastered. Grounded No Return. I mean, that's as hype as it gets as far as, PvE third person shooting action. So RE9 doesn't really scratch that itch, although Leon's sections are super fun. Grace's sections are super fun. Um, I mean, they're even like sort of importing stuff from The Last of Us, like bottle throws, Molotov cocktails, leg shot into melee, um, which I don't remember that being a thing in RE4 original or RE4 remake, but I could be wrong. So yeah, it's an amazing experience. I'm glad I purchased it. It's $80 well spent. I will be playing it again on the higher difficulty unlock, and it's just a really good game and super scary. I played most of Grace's section just alone in a dark room, and I was scared. I was actually like running, for my life in some portions, especially the part where you get to like an underground facility and you have to find three joint plugs to plug them in. I thought that was really clever and really well done. And you have a sewer monster chasing you. And Leon's section is really good. And the second half of the game, it gets even better story wise, which I don't want to spoil. It's just as good as the first half. And so, um, yeah, I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10, which is pretty good. It's pretty high as far as games go, because I'd say RE2 Remake, I'd say 9.5 out of 10. RE7, I'd say 10 out of 10. and that's kind of the barometer. If you want to pick a random game like Black Myth, I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10 just because it's poorly optimized, doesn't run well. Um, or a game like, let's say, what's another recent game? Silent Hill F. I mean, that's just a terrible game. I went through like a sort of a parabolic curve with Silent Hill F, where I was super excited in the beginning, and then my excitement waned as I saw what the story was about, and then got the first ending, and then I did a second playthrough, and I started getting excited again. Right, I did an actual second playthrough of Silent Hill F on the higher difficulty. Okay, only for me to be completely let down and disappointed by the ending because I got the exact same ending as I did my first playthrough, only because I missed 1 out of 5 Jizo statutes. So that's a terrible game. Silent Hill F, I'd say 5 out of 10. Something like Black Myth, 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. RE2 Remake, 9.5 out of 10. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Greatest game, in my opinion. RE7, 10 out of 10. RE8, 7.5, 8 out of 10. RE4 Remake, 8 out of 10. RE9, 8.5 out of 10. It's really, really good. And I just really like that they're going back to like the puzzle house Resident Evil formula with Grace's section. I wish there was more of that. I wish the entire game was like that. But then again, I really like Leon's section. I really like how, um, his character is aged and changed. You really can see, this is a guy whose prime was in like the mid '90s. He's got wrinkles everywhere, and he's kind of an old man. He's like in his 50s or what have you. It's amazing. Definitely get it. Capcom have been putting out bangers lately. Street Fighter 6, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but Monster Hunter, the new Monster Hunter was really good. I tried that out, and now RE9 Requiem, just an amazing, amazing game. Totally recommended. 8.5 out of 10, 2 thumbs up.